Classification of real numbers. Welcome to the video where we'll be looking at how we can classify numbers into different categories and how numbers are, how we understand numbers as we do mathematics. If you think about it, everybody classifies things. Whether you're at home and you're sorting the dishes, you put the cups somewhere, you put the plate somewhere else, or you're classifying your books into different categories. You know, C.S. Lewis books or J.R.R. Tolkien books. You know, different books go into different categories. And in math, we do the same thing. Actually, a lot of math has to do with classification and patterns. And so when you think about numbers, you think of a number like 5 or 20 or 50. Well, that number belongs to a category. And as a matter of fact, it would be more in the natural number category. I mean, it fits into all the others. But by itself, or by that category by itself, natural numbers deals with numbers that go from 1 to infinity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I've drawn a box here, thanks to a few different books. I've seen diagrams that use this, and so I think this will help us see the picture. But real numbers, okay? We have natural numbers. When you think about the age of someone's age, natural. Those are natural numbers. And so the first category we have is natural numbers, okay? And in natural numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that goes till infinity. The next category we have, which then takes over all natural numbers, including one more number, and that's whole numbers. Now, whole numbers go from 0, 1, 2, 3 to infinity. So we have natural numbers, we have whole numbers, and then the next category is integers. So notice that integers contain natural numbers and whole numbers, and so we have integers which go from negative infinity all the way to 0, all the way to infinity. So think of negative 20, negative 50. When you talk about the temperature in places like Duluth, Minnesota, you're dealing with negative numbers. Those are integers. The category after that is called rational. Well, rational numbers, okay, can be written in the form of A over B, such that, for example, if you write 2 over 1, that's rational, or 3 over 4, that's rational, or negative 2 over 5. Okay, that's rational. If it is a decimal that terminates, okay, so 0.25, which is the same thing as 1 over 4, that's rational. So we have natural numbers, okay, in the first circle-looking picture we have, and then we have the whole numbers, and then we have integers, we have rational numbers, and then we have irrational numbers. And that's where one of the famous ones lies, pi. Many people know pi to several, 100-digit places and so on. If your friends are intimidating you with that, tell them that we actually know pi to 10 trillion places and ask them to recite it to that. So notice that pi goes on, it keeps going, and we have square root of 2, or actually the square root, any square root that's not a perfect square. If it's not a square root of a perfect square, then it's irrational. So the square root of any prime number will give you irrational values. And then finally, things like E also known as Euler's number. We'll talk more about Euler soon in our series. But in conclusion, I just want you to recognize numbers can be classified. And this chart is trying to show you that. Let me know if you have any questions on that. So keep this as you go through the rest of mathematics. Numbers can be classified, and based on those classifications, we treat them in the arithmetic operations differently in different categories. But the rules remain the same. It's just that pay attention to the types of numbers you're working with. Have a good day.